we are 10 games into the season and it's not looking good. After those 10 games, Dallas is currently at 11th seed with 5 wins and 5 losses. The only teams below are Utah Jazz, Portland, Pelicans, and Spurs, which is just embarrassing. Especially when you take into account that 7 out of those 10 games were at home. And to make things even worse, Luka Doncic, who entered this season as a heavy MVP favorite, went from hero to zero in just those 10 games. We are all aware of the fact that Luka has a tendency to enter the season out of shape. But this year, he took the cake. I mean, this is just straight embarrassing. The selfishness and what we saw is just so painful to watch. I mean, he always prefers to open the game strong in the first half. But he's so out of shape that he's sinking the team. I mean, we lost against Phoenix Suns, who didn't have Bradley Beal. Then again we lost against Phoenix Suns at home. We even struggled against Utah Jazz. And let's not forget the game against Rockets, where we were down by 20 in second quarter with 8 minutes still on the clock. Because for some reason, Luka is playing like last season, which granted the team was absolute garbage, where Dwight Powell was starting the team, along with Derek Jones Jr., who was on minimum, and team was just bad, and Kyrie spent, I think, over like 25 games injured. And it demanded from Luka to play heavily and carry that team. But this year, it's not the same case. You have a genuine team around yourself, but for some reason, you are deciding to be selfish. And like taking some bad shots. I mean, let's just go to the complete roster. Starting with Luka. I must admit I'm very disappointed because the last year it took huge toll on him because, let's be honest, he carried that team more than half of the season. And it showed in the playoffs when he was barely like 60% of player he usually is. And after that, I was expecting after this that hard season, he's going to take some rest and come back this season stronger. But then he went back to the Slovenia, played for the national team, which I think it was a mistake. Because for once, he really needed that break. And it resulted that he showed up this season so much out of shape that I don't believe there is any chance he's going to win an MVP unless Dallas, by some miracle, ends up being first or second seed. Unfortunately, it's just like that. Moving to Kyrie. Dude, Kyrie this year is playing out of his mind. I think at one point he was like 60% from a three. And last night, when Luka take that ridiculous shot with 1 minute till the end, it just showed how was the term selfish he is. And instead of giving to the Kyrie, which once again was cooking from the tree. Let me just find that footage for a sec.
Coming up next.
Watch this. Luka, who was all night ass. And Kyrie, who was cooking from the tree. Watch this. So unnecessary. And of course, it's an L. I mean, come on. And of course, they lost even that game against struggling Denver, who also has issues of their own. And I think Aaron Gordon was injured. I mean, basically sold the game. Klay Thompson. I'm really happy we signed him. yes, he's struggling. But when we take into consideration that he's like what 16 million per year player, you can't really complain considering how many guys we had in our team, like Tim Hardaway Jr., which we were paying hand over fist, even more money than this, for less performance. But I believe Clay will come back. PJ Washington, there is nothing to be said. I mean, similar thing. But he's making also, 16, and he's earning every single penny of that money. Daniel Gafford, I'm not so much sold on him. Because I still think that we should, last year, mid-season, made a trade with the Detroit Pistons because they have two good, solid centers. And at that point, Tim Hardaway Jr. was playing semi-decent. And we had the Jaden Hardy, who's, by the way, Detroit native. And he, let's be honest, he needs team of his own. He cannot excel in Dallas. I really think we should make trade with them back then, considering that Daniel Gafford underperformed in playoffs to that point that he got outplayed by a rookie, Derek Lively. Especially in the Clippers series. Next one, Maxi Kleber. I'm sorry, this guy is dude, he's a waste. In the last, 2-3 years, he showed nothing. And you are wasting, 11 millions on him? Come on. We should get rid of this guy a long time ago. He's always injured. And when he plays back, he plays like trash. And he maybe has one good games in 5 or 6. I mean, that guy should be abandoned a long time ago. Najee Marshall, I mean, he came as a replacement for DJ with 9 million. I like him, but he kind of wanders off way too much on offensive end. I would prefer if he gets dedicated more on defensive end. But, I mean, with DJ, he was a really good defender, but, dude, he was absolute liability on offensive end unless, I mean, he catch and shoot threes, but the moment he starts driving towards the bucket, it was like turnover because out of 10 his attempts, 9 times he's turning over the ball. And I just don't understand why he went to the Clippers for similar amount of money, especially since in Texas you do not have those taxes. So essentially, I think he's going to make less money in LA than here. But maybe it was the thing of like being the starter, but who knows? Derek Lively. I mean, this kid was our third best player last year, which is kind of sad considering how many big guys in our team he outplayed it as a rookie. And let's be honest, he was really bad free throw shooter, and for somebody who's over 7 feet tall, he's really poor rebounder. Quentin Grimes, I mean, he was a side effect of Tim Hardaway trade, but I would describe him as a Josh Green 2.0. He's basically his replacement. But I don't know how much this is the truth. According to reports, that he was offered the similar contract like Najee Marshall, and he refused to sign it, which I find it a bit odd, considering that he was in Detroit Pistons, who have all the money on the world and the cap space, and still refused to sign him. I'm just wondering what kind of money you are expecting you're gonna get. But I guess we're gonna see back in later in the future. Oh, now we are coming to the top. Deadweight Powell. Jesus. Oh my God. I cannot believe this guy is still in the team, let alone in the Dallas. This guy, when all is gonna be like said and done, is gonna make $100 million, but by being not even an NBA level of player. This guy is so ass. I just don't know what's going on. Is he blackmailing somebody to stay in the league or what? This guy is useless in every single category you can find. And he's supposedly to be a center. He's the center who cannot rebound. And I forget this, along with the Maxi Kleber, one of the YouTubers mentioned this stat, he's the top 10, the worst rebounders in the league. Yep. And both of them are getting the 8 figures contracts in a Dallas Mavs. That's just pathetic. And just, year or two, when his contract, that ridiculous contract he had, expired, I was praising the Lord. We finally got rid of him. And then these idiots from the front office re-signed him again. I mean, the guy doesn't have any size to hold back players like Nikola Jokic or anything bigger players types like that. He has no skills. He can't score. He can't rebound. Like we previously mentioned, he's in top 10, the worst rebounders in NBA alongside with the Maxi Kleber. What is the point of keeping that guy here? I mean, and $4 million. This offseason, there were so many good veteran centers we could sign, and we are keeping this brain-dead idiot here. I mean, he sucks at offense, sucks at defense, unless there is a third part in the basketball, which I don't know. What's the point of him? Even if you wanted player keeping for the vibes, I mean, you could stick with the Theo Pinson. I mean, we even write off JaVale McGee, which we gave a contract, and then sent him off to keep this idiot. I mean, I just can't. I can't just lose any more brain cells on this idiot. We come to Spencer Dinwiddie. I'm really happy we got him back. I'm kind of on the ropes because he left last midseason to Lakers, which I did not understand, and which it would make more sense that he come here, and I think he would improve our chances to actually win the title. Markieff Morris, I mean, the best part, I would prefer that he's getting minutes, the deadweight Powell getting, than him sitting on the bench. But what can you do? Jaden Hardy. Oh my God. Like I previously said, I think the best decision would be to send him, actually was the best decision last midseason to send him to Detroit for one of the centers. And right now, as usual, our front office is trying to pump his price up and somehow justified their crap draft pick they wasted on Jaden Hardy by giving him some minutes and hoping that it's going to play out. He's way too skinny. He doesn't have the skills. You know what? I'm going to give it to him that he has a sweet jump shot. But apart of that, dude, this kid does not have a place in this team. Especially after we brought back the Spencer Dinwiddie. I skipped few of the guys. Dante Exum. I mean, why did we even brought this guy? This guy was so ass. He got sent back to the EuroLeague in Serbia. And the worst thing, he got sent because lack of confidence, and he still has those problems. And now he's injured. I mean, what the heck we are doing? Max Prosper, or should I say zero minimum. Another busted draft pick. I mean, we should call him zero minimum instead of Max. How ass this kid is. I mean, he's power forward, but he's way too small to guard anyone, lacks any of the skills on defensive or offensive end. He was even one of the worst players or in summer league. The worst, but somehow it gets even worse. We kicked out AJ Lawson, who contributed this team to some regard, for the guy who's absolute waste, trash, garbage. But once again, we have our shit front office who need to justify their shit draft picks and trying to convert them to maybe something later on in the trade. I mean, for the rest of the guys, like Kessler Edwards, Gortzman, Brandon Williams, I'm still confused. I was like, dude, the only guy who showed something in a season, even in the summer league, was AJ Lawson. And we dumped that kid out. I really don't get it. I don't know if you're going to make any other moves till the rest of the season, because I genuinely think we need another big quality center who can rebound, because both of our guy, Gafford and Lively, are not good rebounders. And we need somebody who's going to, go with Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid against them. Because, I mean, we saw in yesterday's game, Gafford is struggling. Powell is useless. I mean, Lively, he doesn't have the size. And it pisses me off because this offseason, there was so many good centers on the market for ridiculously cheap prices. And we need rebounders, because, I don't know, somehow the team is just very poor and gets destroyed completely, especially on offensive rebounding. And for how long this Luka Doncic struggle is going to get, because this year, I think by now it's all over, because you know how the media goes, especially ESPN. If Oklahoma ends up in first two seeds, which probably will, it's going to go to SGA. I don't see him, or maybe by some miracle somebody from the Celtics, but considering how stacked the Celtics are, I just don't think they're going to give it to them. What's going to happen here, especially, I mean, with this forcing of zero minimum and Jaden Hardy, who have no place, I mean, it's going to backfire, because as of right now, dude, who are we going to beat in West? I just don't see any mid-series team we are going to beat. I mean, hopefully, Luka's going to get his shit together. Klay Thompson also. And I just don't know how long the Kyrie is going to be able to, play his mind out. I mean, he was having, 43 points. He's shooting like insane percentage from a three. And knowing his history with injuries and all of that, I'm worried. I don't know, maybe mid-season we go for Dorian Finney-Smith, but once again, who we gonna ditch? Because nobody's gonna take Maxi Kleber or Deadweight Powell or any of these wasted draft picks, which, per usual, we are known to hit. It's not hit big. It hits low, like every bust we have with our picks. And maybe, who knows? If we have flop of the season, maybe even Luka Doncic ends up in Charlotte, or God forbid in Denver. But at this point, I'm not surprised. Well, we're gonna see it. Until the next time, take care.